lot of hate against foreigner drivers.
Why is...
Because you want me to use questions? They're just a truck driver, a dumb truck driver.
Okay, but you got to remember, I'm in the industry. You're not.
Welcome to the Truck Stop Show. Today we're joined by Sandra, who has been in trucking industry all her life, but 25 years driving. So let's talk to Sandra and talk to her about her journey.
Hi.
Sandra, good to have you on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Welcome. So tell us, what's your relationship to trucking?
Relationship, that's a funny word, but so yeah, I've been in it my whole life. My dad was an owner-operator my whole life, so it's kind of just what I knew. And then, like my grandparents, both of them were into trucking. I never seen them truck because they were either retired or moved on to other things by the time I came up. So yeah, I've pretty much watched my dad for years and years and years, and that's where my knowledge started.
So that's the only thing you know pretty much then?
Well, to start.
Have you ever had any other job?
Yeah. I'm a person who likes to try a little bit of everything. So
what have you tell us?
I worked at a place that did irrigation.
Mm-hmm.
So I tried that. I've been a bartender, a waitress, worked in nail salons.
That's quite
just kind of
diverse resume.
If you're like, hey, she does this. Nope. One side to the other.
And when did you decide to get your license?
So at 19, my dad came to me and he said I was going to get it. That was it. So.
And you went and you got it?
I'm like, okay, I guess this is what we're doing today.
Right.
So yeah, I went and got it. And then he tried to put me in driving school.
So no, this is pre-MELT, when MELT course didn't exist. So you went in,
so
you could have gone into the driving school, or you could have just done it yourself.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. So he put me in Mississauga. That didn't go so well. So I was only there 2 days and they kicked me out. Apparently you're not supposed to correct the instructor on what they're doing. I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm just pointing out what you're doing wrong. Like, you're trying to teach people. So yeah, after that, my dad just took me out driving a few times. And of course, then you didn't have to have any course or any specific timelines to go get your license.
Mm-hmm.
So I just went driving with him and his Peterbilt around, and he's like, do this, do that. And I'm like, I'm already turning the corner. I don't know why you're telling me. It's not like I didn't know. Like, I had sat in the truck with him my whole life. I had watched him shift and turn corners. I knew what to do.
Mm-hmm.
So the only weird part was when we were out driving the night before I went for my license. I thought it was really odd for me to be doing this because I have 2 older siblings. So I turned to my dad and I asked him, I'm like, why me? Like, this just seems odd. I'm the youngest one and you didn't encourage either one of them to do any of this. And at the time, it was really hurtful. But he turned to me, he goes, you know why? Because you can support yourself one day when you're a single mom. And I took that so horribly wrong. I was like, why? Why would you say that to me? Funny thing is, 4 or 5 years ago, I went to my best friend and I looked at him and I said, how did he know?
Wow. Because he raised you.
Right? I'm like, did he have this thought? Oh, she's too independent. She does everything on her own. She's never going to put up with someone's crap. Like, well, I don't know what it was in his mind, but.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, I ended up with my license at 19 and then just carried on.
So that is why he told you to get into trucking.
Yep.
Wow.
That was his reason at the time. And it's funny because that has replayed through my mind over and over again.
You probably were too bold and...
I was the quiet one.
Really?
I was the quiet kid. I didn't talk to anybody. If I didn't know you, I never said a word to you.
Mm-hmm.
I was out in the barn with the animals, leave me alone kind of person. Very quiet back then.
So, do you where did you do your drive test?
In Guelph.
In Guelph?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, it was kind of a perfect day. It was snowing.
Mm-hmm.
And
you didn't have to go up to the speed?
No, the guy came out and I was all ready to go around, do the pre-trip and whatnot. And it was snowing a little bit. And he just looked at me and goes, it's my last day. He's like, I don't care. Get in the truck. We literally drove around the block and that was it. He handed me my license.
Oh, that's
I'm
lucky.
like, this was
Yeah.
like
This-
cheating beyond cheating, I think.
But, like, I think instructors or the examiners know, like, firsthand, like, what you're doing. That's at least my understanding is. So, Sandra, tell us, what kind of hauling have you done? So you got the license and then you got straight into just driving? Like,
Not straight into it. As you know, my family owns a company.
mm-hmm.
So there was a lot of being in the office
Mm-hmm.
and doing everything. We didn't have that many trucks back then. It was only, I think we were only at like 3 or 4 at the time when I got my license. So yeah, I was in the office, paperwork, accounting, dispatching, kind of one side to the other, doing everything.
Mm-hmm.
If something was close, I kind of went, shunted things, whatever. So it was kind of a few years of just me.
Just the backup girl?
Being the backup and running around. And then it slowly got into, we got bigger and bigger. And I made a joke of it for a lot of years that then it was, I could run loads and go pick up things, do whatever. But it was like, I could get to Sarnia, Windsor, like up to Ottawa. And it was a big joke. I used to say my dad had me on a retractable leash. I couldn't go any further. That was it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was about it until, I'm trying to think. Finally got my own truck to drive. So when that came about, then we got really, really busy.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like, if someone didn't want to go to work, Sandra's going to do it.
So, and then you did the long haul?
So, yeah, well, kind of. Like, they do a lot of the Ontario around the lake stuff. So,
in the, let's say, 500 miles radius?
like the Michigan, Ohio, Indiana, stuff like that was a lot at first. And then as their business grew with doing injection molds and stuff and getting it more into the heavy haul and all that, that's when we kind of started going farther because we had to get stuff down to South Carolina and Georgia and Alabama. And
You done all that stuff?
yeah.
Right. How many states?
I don't know. Never sat and counted.
Yeah, well, a lot of truck drivers do. You know that?
No.
They got a checklist. Done. You don't know that?
No, I've never been like Western U.S. Like I've never done
Like Washington and
Texas,
stuff?
California, things
Okay.
like that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, just I guess kind of up and down was mostly.
Doesn't go back a lot?
So not a lot.
East Coast?
Not at all.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like going to Quebec, so I don't want to go any further.
You're not the only person. There's a lot. I actually love going to Quebec. But there's
I
majority
hated
of people do not like going to Quebec.
Right? We used to do one company that we would take cheesies
Mhm.
and popcorn and stuff. So the company was out of Guelph here. And they would go up to Montreal. And I did 3 loads in a row. And all 3 times I was like lost backwards, couldn't find my way. I'm like, I was legit just here. And I'm like, I can't figure out because this road and that road
Yeah.
have the same name.
Yeah. People
I can't
think
figure out where I'm going.
a lot of truck drivers think New York or New Jersey stretch is very complicated.
I didn't like New Jersey.
No, I think that's easy. Montreal is more complicated, but once you know it because it's islands, right?
Yeah.
So I sort of understood the geography of Montreal, but once you know it, it's then you don't have to read signs and
Yeah. I went out to JFK one time,
Oh yeah,
delivered a load to there.
wow.
That was an experience. That was like nonstop heart pounding.
Yeah. Northeast. Even going, I've gone into Boston. Literally, there's a place called Chelsea, just by the airport. So basically, there's an exit. It turns into like 2, and then one goes into the airport, and the other one just goes into where you're going. I've done stuff like that too, like getting close to the airport with the truck. Whew.
Yeah,
Like
like we delivered right at the airport.
At the airport?
Yeah.
Wow.
There was 3 of us, and
Were you escorted?
It was an injection mold that they split down to go on a plane.
Right.
So the 3 of us went down there together, and we parked at the gates at the airport the night before. Man, you have no idea until you're there, and you're sitting there all night wide awake because you can hear fights, you can hear gunshots. Like it was like nerve-wracking just to sit there.
New York.
The second they open up that gates for us to go in, I'm like, get it off. We're going.
Yeah. Were you escorted into the airport?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's actually the company I work for. They gave you $50 bonus if you went into New York City, and that was life bonus. Basically, they said they made a joke. They said if they demand for money, like somebody on the street, just give it to them because they will shoot you for $10.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a real thing. Yeah, the crime and the guns and all that stuff. So, Sandra, what is your favorite type of hauling?
I'd have to say it's what I do now. So now I do livestock, and I just like it. I mean, I like being around animals. Being a farm kid, it was just I'd rather be around animals than anything. So, and what I do now is local. Like I'm always 2 hours from home, so just works. If something happens, I can be there.
So, what about animals? Like, what do you like about them?
Some of them, are cute and fuzzy, and I just want to scratch their butts. And I get talking to them and whatnot. Most people think I'm crazy.
I don't think it's crazy.
So
it's actually smart people talk to animals in themselves.
Right. And then some of them, when you've got that bad day, you'll get one, especially hogs that get on the trailer and they want to turn and they want to fight. And they're going to bash you. And if you have any anger in life, you're fine at the end of the day. You've got it all out because it was going on the trailer and it was doing what it's told.
Yeah. Do you think about I know like these animals are cute and whatnot, but do you think they're going like they're being raised for the eating purposes? Do you think like that?
Not really. I mean, I guess growing up on a farm, you get a different thought of how it is, right? Like, I don't care if I deliver and walk across the road and get a bacon cheeseburger.
Sure.
I have no problems with that. So them going for that is just, it's what they were bred for, raised for. Right? They were nobody's pet.
Correct.
So.
Yeah. Have you ever been yelled at the, like I heard the livestock people can be yelled at on the road, some people,
Oh, the protesters stand out there and with their signs and tell you how cruel you are. And
Have you encountered anything like that?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they're down in Burlington a lot, so especially in the summer. Like I think there's actually a few TikTok videos with me pulling up and around them.
Really?
So right, because you got to wait for the light to take 2 lanes to turn in.
Yeah.
So now you're stuck there because now they're standing at your trailer. They put their hands in and everything, and it's not safe for them.
Yeah, I know. There's a lot of things that they do. And do you? So when you do livestock, you're responsible to load them, offload them, right?
Yep.
And tell me about that, because that can be challenging, right?
Well, I'd say it's not for everyone because it is a dirty job. Right? Like, no matter what, especially unloading, the trailer's dirty.
Right.
So
I do know.
I do get a kick out of it some days, though. I know a couple of years ago, we had a new guy at work, and he was starting to learn cattle and whatnot, and we were going to load at the same farm, and I went over to load first, so by the time he got out of the truck and walked back, I've got rubber boots, coveralls, toque on and whatnot. He walked back and looked at me, and I literally had manure from my head to my toes. It was on my face. It was everywhere. And I'm laughing, and he's just looking at me, and I'm like, you're next. I'm like, this is how this goes some days.
This is true.
I'm like, does it bother me at all? Nope. Not at all.
And what kind of truck you drive right now?
Right now I have a 2024 W900.
Enworth?
Yeah.
Cool. And what's your dream truck?
The truck I used to own.
Tell me about it.
So, I used to have a 2006 Freightliner Classic. White, flat top, but we had got it new. So it'd kind of been my truck new when the family got it, and then I bought it off the family, so it was my own. And it was the truck that, to me, I had put my heart and soul into. Like, I had sat in my driveway, ripped the interior out, repainted it, put the floor in, put new seats. My pipes might have been, getting a little rusty, so I took them off, put straight pipes on, had the big visor on it, changed every light on the truck. Like, the truck was just me.
Do you know where it is now?
Oh, God, you don't want to see the picture.
No, but do you...
So, after I'd had kids, I was convinced by someone that I needed to sell it, that life had to be different.
Mm-hmm.
So that took a lot for me to sell that truck. Like videotaped it going out the driveway, everything.
What?
Like just,
Aw.
it broke my heart. But I made a deal with the guy when he bought it. I said, listen, I don't care if you think I'm overcharging you for the truck or anything, because I'm like, here's the deal. Said, I'm selling you this truck. I said, a couple of years from now, I'm going to pay you this exact amount and I'm buying it back.
Mm-hmm.
3 months later, it burnt.
Oh, he had something?
The truck burnt to the ground. I can't even get it back. It's got a twin out there, and every time I see the twin, I'm like, can you just stop? I'm going to write you a check. I'm like, I'll just start over again.
And that truck is still around, the twin?
Yeah, I do see it once in a while.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not what my truck was. It's still factory spec.
Right.
Right. But even my truck, I had changed all the settings on the motor, replaced turbo.
I know this
everything,
love and passion. I know this love and passion. Trucks, like they become your thing, right? Yeah. They become you, basically.
Oh,
right?
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Sandra, I want to talk about being raised by a truck driver. Is it easy? Is it hard? Because this is truckers' family is a very neglected topic, and I believe even trucking companies don't want to talk about it, and it can be very tough sometimes. Not every family, but some families, I guess it's tough on them, right? So you tell me, as a trucker's child, is it easy? Is it hard? What is it?
For people coming into this,
right? It's
hard. They don't understand. Being raised in it, I don't know any different. Like, if you want to say, oh, what was it like if your dad wasn't there for a birthday or some other occasion? Well, I don't know, because that's how it always was.
Mm-hmm.
Like even now, I'm like, so what if a birthday's on a Tuesday? We'll have cake on Saturday. Like, it's not a big deal. And like, I don't feel that my dad missed out on anything. I don't think that we missed out on anything growing up. We just knew that he went to work, and I was the kid, though. I was 100% the kid that the second I heard that truck coming down the road, I knew it from anything else. And every photo of me as a kid, I'm on the truck, under the truck, covered in grease, doing something as a little kid. I could hear it coming up the road, and it didn't matter if I could even get my shoes on in time. I was gone across that backyard to watch him back in. So it's just, it's a different life. But when you grow up with it, you don't know that there's anything different.
Right. But I mean, being present and having a relationship is two different things, right? I mean, like your dad can be present all the time, but you don't have a relationship. But trucking is blamed that, like, let's say if you're being raised by a truck driver, you don't have as strong of the relationship with your parents. Is that true? Or your dad or your mom?
Well, like for us, I wouldn't know what is the strong relationship. What is the other relationship? I wouldn't know. I know.
Have you not met people that don't have a relationship at all with their parents?
Yeah.
Like they just don't have that bonding, right?
Right. It's usually something that they've seen or noticed later on in life, though, and they've just decided to walk away from it. But yeah, like as for my dad and whatnot being in it, I knew what day of the week he was going to call because it was once a week. I knew if he could be home, he was going to be there. My older sister didn't really do sports or nothing, so he wasn't there much for anything extra of her other than every time she crashed a vehicle, he came home to fix it. But like myself, having animals growing up, if he could be home for a show, he was there to watch me. Maybe he shouldn't have been there the day I broke my knee, but he was there. So
what was that like?
I found out in life that my dad works very hard. He can do his job and whatnot. But when it comes to medical per se, breaking bones, people cutting themselves to the point of needing stitches and such, he is not so good with that.
Like he And faint?
Right? Not faint, but like it's like you can almost see an instant panic, like which way to like you could go crash your truck and he'll know who to call, what to do, how to fix the problem, how to pick things up. He's got that solved. But like the day I broke my knee, it was like a panic of, okay, what do we do? Can we get your horse on the trailer? What should we do here? What should we do there? Are we taking you to the hospital? Like,
Right. It was with the horse at the show?
yeah.
So what happened? Tell me.
It was a muddy, muddy day, and I am a very competitive person. And it was just one of those days where it's like, I know to take it easy and whatnot.
You
'cause
race
the mud-
horses?
I was barrel racing at the
Right.
time. So, yeah, it was just one of those muddy days and went around the top barrel and my horse slid out in the mud. And as my horse slid, my knee hit the top of the metal barrel. So broke my kneecap off and shoved it up into my leg.
Mhm.
But I sat there and was like, this is not my horse's fault. This is not. So everybody else is panicking and I'm hopping on one leg, putting my horse on the trailer. And I'm like, don't
Mhm.
worry about it.
Wow. Sandra, so now I can't it's tough for me to understand. And I'm not being sexist or anything. Being a female person, raising kids and driving truck at the same time. I just can't process it. Do you get me? Like what I'm trying to say?
Get up early.
Yeah, I just can't process. So like I want to know, how does your day-to-day life look like? So you got 2 kids.
Yep. I
You
got two
2
girls.
kids. Okay.
So yeah. And the day to day is no matter what, you're starting by 4.
Right.
Like I've got to get up. I got to make sure things are tidied up, that everyone's got clothes to wear, that the lunches are made and everything's good to go for the second that their eyes open, and make sure you get one ready and off and breakfast into them. And here's the school bus. And then the next one. And I'm like, okay, you're ready, you're dressed, you get on the school bus. And now we're out the door 3 seconds later and gone to work.
Right.
So
Is it tough?
I don't think it's tough. But to me, like it's just what I do. It's what I got to do.
Right. And then you leave because you work locally now.
Yeah.
You just leave right after you put them on the bus. And then you go do your load
Yeah.
and be back before the school finishes?
I'm home in time to make dinner.
Really?
Yeah.
Right.
So it's nice. It used to be really tough when they were little,
Mm-hmm.
but now they can get off the bus and get a snack and do their own thing. So now it's just easier that I'm home in time for dinner.
Like, so this is the only thing you've done ever since you had kids?
When I had them, I was working at another livestock company
Mm-hmm.
in the office. So
Right.
I was doing dispatching there and invoicing and different things, helping out there. So, but when you're a truck person, that's a large mental load.
Mm-hmm.
That was probably harder on me than getting up and getting in the truck.
Right.
Because sitting in an office in 4 walls,
Not easy, I know.
no.
No, but so because trucking is such an unpredictable work that, let's say, even if you're going from here to London and you're estimating that you'll be back in 4 or 5 hours, sometimes it's not possible.
Yep.
Has this
Yeah.
happened to you?
Yeah, it's happened.
What's the backup
There's-
there?
Make sure you work at a great company. That is number one. So I've had days where when my kids were still in like the after school care work, you have to pick them up by 6 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a few days I could not make it at all. So I just call my boss, be like, hey, someone needs to go get my kids. And he would send his sister-in-law or his niece. He'd just send somebody else to go get them.
Wow,
And
that's
pick
such
them
a
up
great
and bring
company.
them back to work. And by the time I got back, my kids are there and they're either out in the yard shoveling at the pit, they're playing on trucks. I might have to chase them once in a while because they're gone in a tractor somewhere. So
Wow.
yeah, depends where you work.
Okay, so this actually is very. I don't think there's many companies like that out there. So it does sound like you work for a great company because that is providing you such a support, in a way. And then, so my question is, first of all, how does a good company look like? How do you define a good company?
To start with,
So let's say you're choosing.
you have to find a company and you got to look at the owners of the company. If you see the owners are still out in a truck when it needs to be done, if you see the owners are out shoveling at the pit, if they're out fixing something, the owner that looks like an employee is where it works better. Because now you can walk in there, and if you can act like an owner and care, that is the best dynamic.
Wow, that's actually well said. That's actually well thought and well said because I never heard this before. But now when I think back to the companies I've done work for, it's when the owner is out there working as an employee, it does tell you that they do care and then they are not there to become your boss.
Mm-hmm.
They're actually there to work with you.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, that's actually, I never thought this way, but something new I learned today. Good. And then how does a bad company look like?
When you're a number.
Yeah. No, you're saying
Right?
don't work for any big company then?
Well,
Because bigger companies, you are a
the
number,
bigger
right?
companies, you're
Truck number
you're a number.
372.
They don't care who you are.
Yeah.
They don't care what you like. They don't care, if you have a family. They've got numbers to make and a job to do.
Yeah.
That's
Always calculating profits.
yeah. Like I would never go work for somebody like that.
Mm-hmm.
So it works better if you can almost feel like family.
True. Do your kids complain about what you do?
Oh, once in a while.
How old is your oldest?
So my kids are 10 and 12 right now.
So they're old enough to have good conversations, right?
Yeah.
So like when you converse with them, and then like you are a truck driver, like how do they take it? Because there's not many kids out there whose mom is a truck driver, right? It's a rare
Not
thing.
too many.
Not too many. That's what exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. There's days now where they put a little bit of complaint in because I'm not there the second they get off the bus. But I'm like, I don't know anyone with a normal job that can be home at 3:30, 4 o'clock. Like how can you work and support your family and be there at that time?
Mm-hmm.
So they will complain once in a while about that. But then they also know if they have a sick day or something, they just go to work with me and they can just chill.
Do you like it?
My oldest is a lot more quiet about it. She does come with me still once in a while. She's more independent now, but she likes to come with me if it's summertime and we're out, if I got to go chase a combine or something. Because she's more the kid that will jump in the truck and go with me. And the second I get to the field, she's out of the truck and she's in the tractor. And for a few years, and I'm like, okay, she's riding around with everyone until 2 summers ago. I pulled back into the field to get loaded, and here she comes by herself with the tractor up to load me. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, someone just trusted her with full-size equipment. I'm like, all right. Same day, though.
Yeah.
Youngest one's with me. Leave her with the combine driver, go to the yard, come back. I come back, my youngest is driving the combine.
Farm
I'm
life,
like, all right. I'm like, so yeah, there's days they complain and days that they want to go.
Right.
So
now this is a very strange question. I do ask a lot of people this. So your grandfather was a truck driver, your father is a truck driver, you're a truck driver. If your kids one day grow up and they say, we want to become a truck driver, what would you say?
oh, I encourage it now.
You do?
I do. Like both of my kids, they know how to shift. They know how to, I let them in the yard and stuff. I let them drive the truck with the trailer on so they know how to turn. They know that they got to take a little wider, especially when I have the pod on. They know all that now because I tell them, I'm like, I don't care what you want to be in life. Go be anything you want. Said, but get your license. Because
Really?
I'm like, my oldest, she keeps talking about wanting to be a school teacher one day. And I'm like, that's great.
Mm-hmm.
What are you going to do in the summer? I'm like, you don't have to sit around and do nothing. If you have your license, you can go work for any farmer.
So you're the
you
person.
can go keep going,
Yeah.
right? You've got an option. If something doesn't work out in life, you've got an option.
This is actually extremely smart to think this way, and I share this opinion. But like there's not many people out there that do trucking and encourage their kids to get into it. Because nowadays people have very negative opinion about people that are in trucking. They think this place, this trade is just going into disaster. It's just messed up and it's never gonna be fixed. Everything is just going negatively. So, but you are the person who still believe in trucking, and you still believe that like it's a great skill to have, and license is a great thing to keep in your pocket.
It is. Yeah. And I mean, maybe that trucking is different now. I mean, it's not what it used to be, but do we all need to carry on like we used to? Probably not. So it's not that, the old stuff's going away. It's just everything's got to evolve. That's all it is. Like, we used to handwrite everything. Now we can just tell our phones what to do. Right? Things just change. But I just hope for their sakes that by the time they get to it, that it's not these fully electronical trucks. I hope we can still keep all the
like
old trucks.
self-drive, you mean to say? Like self-drive?
Well, like one company brought a truck into our yard last year, and the boss is telling me he goes out and looks at it when the whole dash is just TV screen.
Yeah.
The whole thing's touch.
Yeah.
He's like, well, here's a problem. He's like, so if this goes down, what do? He's like, you can't even turn the lights on. You can't drive it anywhere. You can't do nothing. Like, at least in our old trucks, we can turn our lights on and put it in gear still. So I just hope it's not that by the time they get to it.
It's almost like, I don't know if you ever stalled at the border or no, but I have. So I've stalled at the border, and then the first question the agent there at the border had for me, is it automatic or manual? And I said, it's manual. And he's like, okay, well, you're in luck. Then we can just push you start.
Yeah.
And then they bring this big 250, F4 250, and they just give me a push, and I was able to start. And then I was like, what if it was an automatic? He's like, well, then you stay here and call
the tow truck.
Yeah. Then we can help you out.
Yeah.
So it's like there's pros and cons to everything, right? And then least automatic stuff is actually you have more control over stuff, right? Yeah. Have you driven automatic truck?
We have one at work. And it almost confuses me. I'm like, I can't handle this. I can't do it. I drove it one day while we were chasing combines, and it's just automatic that you get in it. And I sat there every single time.
Yeah, your hand is just moving.
I'm trying to shift, and there's nothing there.
There is no shifter.
Right?
Yeah.
Or you think before you go to push in the clutch to get it into gear, and I'm like, there's no clutch. Like, you just laugh at yourself every single time. I drove it one day into the field. I'm like, I'm good. I'm done.
Yeah. So do you have any friends, female friends that are in trucking?
Nobody that I grew up with.
Right.
So, but now I'm not a person that really gets along with females so well.
Fair
right?
enough.
Like on a normal level of friendship, it's hard for me to have a conversation with them.
Really? And why is that? Tell me. Is just your personality?
Because they have no idea what I'm talking about.
It makes sense.
Right? Like my one good friend's a nurse. So I don't know what she really does, and she doesn't know what I do. So like most of our conversations now are about our kids, and that's it. There's one girl that I see pretty much every day when I go to Burlington. I get along with her great.
And she's a truck driver?
She hauls the livestock as well. But yeah, us being kind of the same age and going through this, though, it's like we've seen it, we've experienced it, and now we just joke about it every day.
So, Sandra, blue-collar job and a female person in it, like it's a very odd thing, right? When as a female person you're in blue-collar job, is it challenging?
There's challenges as to like say when I used to pull a 6-axle, the challenges were the shippers and receivers. Because I would walk into the building. I always walked in. If I hadn't been somewhere, I always walked in, checked it out first, make sure I can get around that dumpster or whatever's there, right?
Professional move.
But yeah, like I'd walk in and ask them, where do I got to be? How far back in the building do I have to go to get the crane? And probably 90% of the time when I'd go to these new places, I'd go in to ask them and they'd be like, well, get the driver to come in. And
They were in
I'm
denial.
like, yeah, I'm here. Yeah, well, when you're a co-driver or husband or something, like
Yeah.
if they could come ask. And sometimes I just walk back out to the truck and wait. I'm like, you want to get that out of the building or you want this in the building?
Mm-hmm.
Eventually you're going to come out and realize it's me.
Right.
I am your option today.
Yeah.
So that was kind of tough there. And then with the livestock, we go to a lot of Mennonites and Amish. So we have one guy alone who I've been going there for 3-4 years now.
Mm-hmm.
The first 2 years, he never said a word to me.
But you
Because
won't
I
even
was
say
a
hi
girl.
to you?
Because I was a girl doing this job. It was not part of their culture. So not a word.
Not even hi.
Not.
Is he okay now?
Now? Now it's like someone hit the light switch.
Yeah.
Now, like, go in and he's like talks to me about what someone's told him. We figure out numbers to go on the trailer, whether it's the weather. Last year, his one cow had twins and he's like, oh, you got to go check them out when you're done here. And, now it's totally different. But yeah, like even one of the Amish places that we go to, the first couple of years, he did not talk to me at all. If there was anything to communicate, he told his wife and his wife came to tell me.
Wow. And how do you take this? Do you take this as a negative thing, as an insult, as a how do you process it in your head?
No, it's their way of life.
Right.
Right? So with those people, it's more of their religion and such. So it's their way of life. And I more or less think in my head, like, you don't have to talk to me.
What about when you
I'm
go to
going to come back, though.
shippers and receivers? When you go to them and they act like that?
I just let them figure it out.
Yeah. You don't take this
Right?
personally.
No.
Yeah.
No. I
That's
didn't do
a
anything
strong-
wrong in my job. So
Yeah. No, that takes a very strong person to be to that level. Because, like people are very sensitive about small stuff, right? They can be very, yeah.
no. You got to have a different mindset to do this job.
Mm.
Right? You can't. I grew up in a family that feelings didn't exist. Right? So like.
Is it a positive thing or negative?
I didn't have it walking into this job.
Yeah. No, is it a positive
Right?
thing to not have feelings, or like feelings are not being discussed, or is it a negative thing? Do you discuss feelings with your kids now?
We're supposed to. It's still very tough for me. Like I never turn around and say, "Oh, how are you feeling today?" Never. That never comes out of my mouth. But if something's wrong and I'm like, "Hey, like tell me what's going on."
Right.
Like I try to be a little more sensitive with them.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, growing up it was nope. And my dad always had a trick. If something happened and you were crying, my dad would always pull out a Kleenex, tell you to blow your nose.
And just walk away.
Well, because you can't blow your nose and cry at the same time.
Yeah, that's
So
true.
you would stop instantly.
Yeah.
Like, so
Yeah.
if there was a problem, it was like solved in 3 seconds and get on with the day. But yeah, you can't, not that you can't be an emotional person or anything. It's just, you can't take it to heart.
But modern day of life is different. It's totally opposite. Like if we all have even men have emotions, and then we should all talk about it, and it's just easy on you, and then
Yeah. More or less for me, it's better I work into farming
Mhm.
because
Yeah.
if you have emotions, we make fun of it. We make a joke of it. And some people really can't handle some of the things we do. We always joke all the time that we are the walking HR problems.
Mhm.
Like
Well,
just-
I believe you.
we don't hold, like, especially in the shop, we don't hold back what we're saying.
Yeah.
There's an innuendo to everything.
Yeah.
So it's tough to even try to tell the mechanic what's wrong with your truck without being like, okay, this is what I actually mean.
Sandra, let's talk about roads. How safe are our roads?
Oh, I guess that depends where you go. So,
Tell me the worst one.
like if you're on the highways here, the big highways and that, they're not safe because nobody cares. People are cutting you off and they don't realize the room that you need
Mm-hmm.
to operate in, how much room you need between cars just to change a lane without someone trying to say, oh, well, that spot's open and they cut through on you. So you've got to have a lot of patience for that. And then people on the bigger hires don't pay attention at all to road conditions,
True.
which is it's a chain reaction then. Because at that speed, it's not just the truck, it's everybody is in it.
Mm-hmm.
But the rest of the roads, like mostly 2-lane is what I do.
Mm-hmm.
It's just it's fine. It's just those days you get the Sunday driver. I'm like, it's Tuesday. We got places to go.
Are you a big CB girl
Not at all.
at all?
I don't even turn it on. Nope.
And why
I'm
is that?
like, well, most of the time you're just hearing gibberish. And, not to be rude to the other people who don't speak English, but
Yeah.
I don't know what they're saying and I
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
care.
Yeah.
So they're on there yelling at each other and carrying on.
Yeah.
And
Well, I
Like,
can
I don't
tell you at a truck stop, if you hear a female person say something on the CB, everybody's just like alert. Who is she? Where is she? Because of course you can't really tell which truck she's talking from, right? But
Yeah.
then everybody's just alert. Like I've seen that at many truck stops.
yeah, I have
Yeah.
had that. The one day I loaded out of Hamilton, coils going out to Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
And a couple of people I knew were heading out to Chicago. So I had met up and we were heading out and across Michigan together. So the three of us running together, we were talking on the CB that day, just communicating like, I'm like, I don't really have to go totally far. And they had a yard that they'd stop at and split
Mhm.
their trains at. So we had gone out there and talked on the CB and then pulled into this yard. And I just pulled up to sleep there for the night while they were getting ready to split in that. And everybody went to bed. Maybe an hour later, there's a knock on my door.
What?
I never moved. I never got out of bed. I'm like, I don't care which one of two you like. I just figured it was one of the guys
Mm-hmm.
that I'd run out there with. Like, don't care. I'm not getting up. Didn't answer. The next day, get up and get going though. And I'm like, which one of you was knocking on the door last night? Neither one of them.
It wasn't them?
So all we could figure is somebody had listened on the CB
Wow.
and was trying to figure out which truck the girl was in.
Wow. Yeah.
Right?
Like it's just if a female person speaks on the CB radio, everybody just trying to figure it out. Yeah.
yeah.
So Sandra, let's talk about where is trucking headed. So you've seen it evolve. You've seen it change. You've seen it going in a direction. Is it a good direction? All the technology, new people getting in.
The
Whole bunch of-
technology is not the
It's
better
not?
direction.
Yes, I've seen trucks without side mirrors now. Have you?
Right? There is people that need the technology
Mm-hmm.
because they have no background in trucking.
Mm-hmm.
They don't know what that sound is the truck's making to know what needs to be fixed.
Correct.
So they need the technology to figure out what's going on. There's people who can't do math and people who don't even know that there's 24 hours in a day. So they need the technology of an e-log because
Yeah.
they can't figure it out.
Yeah.
But restricting everybody within that bubble, that's the failure of it.
So technology, not good. That's the answer.
It's really who it applies to.
Correct. And what about new people getting into trucking that don't have, newcomers. Good terminology. Newcomers getting into trucking. Because we do know that, like when people move to Canada, of course they want to make quick money.
They're sold a dream.
And a guy like me tells them, get into trucking. And then they get into trucking and sometimes it's not pleasant.
It's not at all because they have no background in it.
Mm-hmm.
Those people come here and a lot of them never seen winter,
Mm-hmm.
the snow. They've never been stuck in traffic jams. Like they have no experience with that much weight.
Mm-hmm.
So some of them are sold this big dream of making money with nothing to back it, and they're not taught anything before they go. So that's the tough part, is that,
Mhm.
you know, you might give a guy a
Mhm.
license, but
Mhm.
he drove around with an empty van
Mhm.
for the last how many weeks before he got his license.
Mhm.
So does he actually know how to stop with a load on?
Mhm.
If a light burns out, can he stop and fix it? Does he know how to rewire that? You know, if the truck's making an odd noise, does he know where it's coming from? Do these new people know when it's snowing out, give yourself distance? Drive accordingly?
Mhm.
Like, they're not taught any of this.
How do you teach this? Even though like there's a process to get a license now, they go through schools and stuff. How do you how do you teach this? Because schools can only do so much.
They can. Um, and I know I've heard before on this that it should be on the company they go to.
Mhm.
And myself, I know when we're training people, I try my best to go through all of these details because I don't want to send someone out without at least half the knowledge.
True.
Right? I'm not expecting anyone to go out there and know what I may know because I've had my whole life to learn all that.
Mhm.
Right? But I want to know, like, that guy can go out and he can replace the light. I want to know that. So I've been training someone the past few weeks now, and he had to come in the truck with me. So it wasn't just how to load the trailer, how to treat the animals, things like that, but I wanted him to watch how I drive.
Mhm. But isn't that hard? Because okay, so let's talk about this. So if this person who you're training right now, how long this person has been driving?
So he got his license last year. I want to say
So he's a newer guy.
maybe before the summer.
Okay, so that's fine. So newer guys are easy to train. But let's say you were training me, and I have been driving for a couple decades. Now, when you go to train me, drivers have egos,
Oh,
and their
it's
ego.
men.
Well, men. Okay, sure. Is it a men problem? I didn't know that. Okay. Well, they have ego. Well, ego, not the manly ego. The ego is no, not everybody, but some people. Like when they drive for so long, they believe I know better than anybody, right? And then now it's not easy to fight. Like I'm telling you as a human being, like if I'm telling somebody you don't do it this way, this is a bad habit, you do it this way, and this person is like, look, I've done it for 20 years, I've done it safely, don't tell me what to do. Like that's almost
Yeah.
impossible to fight.
Yeah. I just don't deal with it anymore. I guess I've got to that point in life.
And how do you
Where,
what do you do?
so
You
like
just-
before the one that we've been training lately, another guy came in before that and wanted to do the livestock, was interested in it.
Mhm.
It's okay, cool. You're gonna hook onto that trailer, you're gonna meet me at this farm. And from the second I got there, he didn't listen to a darn thing I said. When I asked him to be quiet, he just kept going, kept talking. Like, just made the day twice as hard. And I came from that back. Like, when I got back to the yard that day, I just went to the boss and went, no. He's never been back on livestock since. I'm like, no,
He's doing other stuff now?
no, I'm going to judge a person by day one now.
Yeah.
I'm like, don't waste my time.
Yeah. True. You can actually tell day one because that attitude comes out really quickly when you're like, I'm not open to learning. That's the
Well,
attitude.
and that was the
right?
thing. I'm trying to explain to him how to do things. And he just turned around and he goes, oh, I grew up on a farm. I don't care. This is what I'm trying to tell you to do so that if you do it a certain way, it's easier, right? Like, I'm trying to tell people how I do things because I'm not 6 foot tall. I'm not 200 pounds. So there's got to be an easier way, right? I don't have what men have to do this. So I'm trying to show them how to do it what I consider an easy way because I can do it.
Mhm.
And if you can't listen and if you want to tell me you've done this, you've done that, and so on and so forth, you're wasting my time.
When you come home from a busy day or rough day, because we have rough days in trucking, right? Could be traffic, could be weather, could be many factors, right? And then you come home and now being parent is a very tough job too. So now when you come home from a tough day and then you have kids, now that's not easy, right? You like how do you manage that?
Uh, there is no tough day at work that comes home with me.
Just leave it there.
It's there. I leave work and my next thought on my mind is, what are we having for dinner? How long do we have? Do we even have time to have dinner? Because we got to get to hockey practice. We got to get to a hockey game. Like, we got things to do. So whatever happened at work stays there.
Wow.
So yeah, it doesn't, the bad day at work, which honestly is not that often at all.
It's not that often?
It's not.
Like, a lot of truckers
It's
going to
not.
disagree with you, but like, this girl is lying there.
It's not. There's days you get stuck in traffic, but
Yeah.
by the time you're done and you head home, that was like 2-3 hours ago. It's
Mhm.
not a problem now. Wasn't a problem on my drive home. So yeah, it's gone. It's not.
Sandra, why should girls get into trucking?
Why girls get into it?
Why should they? So,
Like-
like basically, you're talking to you're talking to the girls that are watching you right now and thinking about doing something, and you persuade them to get into trucking.
Right? They shouldn't be held back because they're a girl. If it's something they want to do and they're interested in it, go try it. You might surprise yourself that you like it, or there's a certain aspect of it that you're actually really good at. I know there's programs out there that encourage women to get into it, and they'll actually put you through a program and support you through it. So that is a big thing, and it's actually right out of Guelph here. So it's a big thing for women to get into trucking.
Is it a good
Yeah.
trade for a woman to be in?
It is if you got to realize you got to have that in you. You have to be able to put up with men. You got to be able to put up with the BS. But it's a good job. It's good money. And, sometimes it works easy that you can work it around your life. And there's just lots of options. So
if you are a girl and you're pulling livestock, like I'm gonna tell you, isn't everybody just hitting on you?
So people will say that once in a while. I'm like, no, they weren't.
No,
Like,
does
I
it make
take-
you happy? Does it make you unhappy? Like, how do you take that? Because every female person would
So-
take it differently, right?
There's two sides of it. So like some people be like, oh, that person joking around, they like you. And I'm like, no, they don't. That's just how we talk. I'm like, it's how everyone gets along.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, they're not hitting on me. But then I did have this past year where I'm thinking, what is wrong with this guy? Never met him before in my life. Get to the plant. He pulls in behind me and parks. I'm handing him my paperwork. He comes in, starts talking, asking questions. I go out, get my prod to come back and help the guys. And that's the one thing at the one plant. Everyone helps everyone. And it just makes everyone get along because it's like teamwork. And I walked back over to help one of the other guys. He comes walking back over and just is asking me like all these questions. And it's not even 10 minutes later. And he's asking for my phone number. And I'm like, no. I'm like, what are you thinking? And he wouldn't stop. And I'm like, I'm going to give you an option right now. You can leave me alone. Or if you speak again, you're going to hear every insult come out of my mouth of what I think about you now. Your choice.
And it doesn't happen too often, like stuff like this. Just one.
I don't know. Like that hasn't happened in like 15 years.
Okay,
So
well-
that was like a once in a while.
I'll tell you. So people, like I know I have a lot of friends in livestock. When they get together and then go to this farm, let's say to deliver or whatnot, or kill plant or whatever, and there's a female person that comes from whatever, I'm just telling you a story. Everybody's talking about her because, they're not used to seeing female person in livestock. You know what I mean? Like there's not many out there. Well, there's a few
Everybody
now.
talks.
What's that?
Everybody talks.
Right,
And I assume there's a lot said about me
right,
when I'm not there,
right,
but I don't hear it. So why would I care?
right. I'm just trying to understand, do you realize that this does happen?
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
Right.
everybody talks.
Mm-hmm.
We make a joke about it at work that, the haters, the gossipers, they're just your biggest fans.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay.
Right. Cool. That's very, very, very strong things the way you're saying it. I mean, it can be tough on some people.
Oh yeah, a lot
That's
of people
how
take
you're
it to heart.
surviving
They're
in
like,
there.
"Oh my god, they said what about me?"
Yeah.
Now it's a joke at work.
Right.
So older guy that I work with, I've known him since I was a kid. And now we purposely will start rumors. Or we purposely say something in the shop to start the rumor.
Right.
Because now we just want to see, like, where is this going? We wait like a couple weeks till it comes back in the circle. We're like, what did we do? How did this go down? Like, I want to know what else happened in the story.
Right.
Right now, we just have a lot of fun with it.
Mm-hmm. I think it takes a strong person to think this way because it can be really, some people can take it very negatively, right? And then there's only about 2-3% female person in trucking in Canada. It's not a very big number. It's still a
No.
very men-dominated industry, even though and it's like as you said, I mean, go get your co-driver or your husband, right? It's like there's a lot of people out there that still think this way, even though we like to think that we've been modernized and like we have changed. There's been social change about female person getting into odd jobs, let's say, or like tough jobs.
Mhm.
But it's still a very men-dominated industry, right?
Oh, yeah. Even where I work,
Right.
we got 75, 80 drivers. 2
Females.
of us are women that go to work every day. And we have 2 more that will help out during harvest season and that. That's it.
And all 4 of them are drivers?
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So, Sandra, the last topic I want to talk about is trucking being underappreciated. So the work we do is very tough on almost all aspects of life. Being a parent, being somebody's partner, even having family life, or even on health and mental health and like pretty much everything. It can be very tough.
Mm-hmm.
Yet, everybody on the road thinks we are just bad people doing something extremely dangerous out here to kill people. And, do you feel this perspective on the road?
So there's a lot of points in there.
Yeah, it's a big question. But I want...
Yeah, like on one point of it, the people who are on the roads and getting mad at the truck drivers and thinking that we're in the way, they don't actually ever stop and think that there is nothing they have in their life that didn't get provided to them by a truck. Everything, whether it's their home, their clothes, their food, everything they have came on a truck. And they don't see that. They can't. No, most people have never been told that. So they don't even realize that without that person on the road, you have nothing. And then, people don't realize the strain it is on relationships. You're not always there, not always available. Sometimes people want to spend time with you and you can't make it in time. Or other people, when you don't make it in time, they see as an open door to carry on with somebody else in life.
True.
And even the emotional side of it. So there are things like in a truck, we're alone all day, every day. And there's great parts to that, especially when you have tinted windows, that you can sing and dance and carry on and be the absolute goofiest person you want to be. Nobody can see you. Nobody can hear you. You can have a blast every day as much as you want. And the other side of that is you are alone every day. You do nothing but overthink every situation in life, everything that happened in the past, everything you're calculating for the future. Nobody sees that emotional side of it either. So there is a lot that people don't understand about the industry, don't look at, and they don't want to know.
Why people don't understand and whose job it is to tell them. People go on wars and, they come back and, like they're heroes. Doctors are heroes. Nurses are heroes.
It's advertised, though. When people come back from war, it used to be on the TV. It was a ceremony to thank them. Now, you completed your job And what do we put on TV? The truck driver is part of the crash. The truck driver is protesting for our own rights. The truck driver is holding up the border in our products. They don't advertise, you got everything else in life because we showed up, because we sacrificed time, family, relationships. None of that is put out there.
There's many organizations in the province of Ontario and even in Canada that work either in the province or nationally, and they claim to stand up for truck drivers. But how many you know that do?
I don't know any of these.
What you just said, like 20 seconds ago, about, and I once again, I never heard this before, that the other stuff or other trades or other professions are advertised as heroes.
Mm-hmm.
But trucking has never been advertised as heroes, right?
Nope.
It's always been looked upon as something extremely dirty and ugly. Even though, yet, it's the most crucial thing in our life, probably, that like we have everything because of trucking, right?
Yeah.
But okay, who failed here?
I don't know. Do you start at the top or the bottom? Like, is it the people at the top who aren't promoting? They're not putting out on like the TV and stuff like everybody else that we do a good job and we've been there? Or is it the people at the bottom who are driving the truck? Are they not telling their friends and family the good part? You know, do they come home with their bad day and put it on everybody else? Or do they come home and tell everyone like how much fun it was to travel? Do they not tell everyone that how many new people they get to meet and the experiences in life? I know myself, I tell everyone that I've looked at this different my whole life, that I love my job because I look at it that I get paid to work out. Does anyone advertise that? I'm like, I don't have to go to a gym. I save money and I get paid.
No, but when people do long haul and they come back from a trip, and I know this personally, they can't operate as a proper human being for days or some, like at least hours. Because like imagine you went to Texas and you came back here in Ontario, like GTA, and you need some recovery time. And like if you have family, you don't get that recovery time. You come home.
It depends how you have set it up. So I know like my dad, when he would come home from those long trips and whatnot, he didn't walk right into the house. He'd park, he'd kind of organize himself and his paperwork, and he'd get out, put his coveralls on. He would grease the truck. He would fix whatever needed to be fixed. He kind of did that, and it was like that was his downtime to adjust. So by the time he was done all that and came into the house and showered, now he's part of the family. Right? And I know myself, I used to do the exact same thing. I'd be done work at the end of the week. I'd bring my truck home. As soon as I back in, I'd go out and I would grease my truck. I would wash the truck. I would do all that before I reset myself into the rest of life. But you have to set yourself up like that. If you're going to come home, pull the buttons, and walk into your family with everything you've just done, you just cause chaos.
Right. And what about the health aspect of it? I mean, truck drivers lose their health very quickly. Because and mainly if they're not trained.
Self-control.
Self-control or what you put in your mouth is a big thing, right?
Yeah.
So, well, some people don't even realize how bad the stuff is that is, like, for example, fast food and stuff like that. Pretty bad for you. You can't.
Yeah, if you're gonna eat that every day,
You're not gonna last too long, right? So
yeah,
some people
we
just
make the joke with my nephew. I'm like, I think he used to be a lot smaller,
Right.
but he's on the road and eating at all these places and fast food, and I might not help him. I made him a snack box last week, and it was candy, Pop-Tarts, pretzels, like.
Yeah. Do you think companies should jump in here? Because they make a lot of profit of truck drivers, right? They should jump in, and run some sort of education programs and at least train their drivers to eat well
Yeah, but everyone was taught that in school,
or at home.
right? Everyone in school was taught, the different food groups and categories and what you're supposed to eat and how to stay healthy. But the problem with that too is that when they taught you all that in school, it was like, okay, you're going to be 5'10", and this will keep you at 170 pounds. And we don't care what your background is, what your parents are. Like, it doesn't apply to everybody. Everybody's metabolism is this, or like, it doesn't apply to everybody. So even if you go, like, if you wanted to go to, like, say, even the fast food places and be like, okay, you have to have 4 salads on your menu. Well, we're going to walk in and be like, I want a cheeseburger. Like, so it doesn't matter. It's got to be the person themselves making the decision.
Right. Sandra, what's the worst thing you've seen on the road in all these years?
Like, do we go like accident-wise or the way people act?
Just tell, well, not what, well, people act like that can be a series of shows here, but it's just
Right,
in terms of accident. Have you had close calls or?
I've had a couple accidents. Nothing major in my mind. Like, just
That's good. Fender bender kind of thing?
Like, just I had one in Michigan.
Oh, bad state to have an accident.
Right? So, and my dad preached to us nonstop all of our lives of what to do. Like, you don't speak. Your answers are yes, no. You never admit fault to nothing, like all of this, because
There's learning right
everything's
there.
recorded.
There's learning right there. You don't say anything, yes or no.
Nothing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there was a little pickup truck had come down an on-ramp, and I was in the right lane coming through, just coming into Detroit, and I had like a 90,000-pound tool on the deck. So, I'm not cooking at it. Like, it's...
Yeah, of course. You got
right?
problems.
You're
yeah.
kind of in the city, and yes, you're on the highway, but I wasn't going too fast, and he came down the ramp and just decided he was going to get in front of me and didn't leave himself enough room between me, the wall. So he caught the front of my truck, went across the front of me, hit the truck beside me, went into the concrete wall. And all I did was, at that point, I got the jakes. I just pull over out to the side of the road and stop as soon as I could. I'm like, I'm not hitting the brakes. I'm not taking the chance of what I've got on the deck.
Mm-hmm.
So I just stopped, sat on the side of the road, made sure my logbook was up to date because it was still paper logs then. So had all that. I got my binder out with all my authorities and everything in it. Had it all sitting on my driver's seat. Got out, got my pipe out, pulled my bumper back straight while I was waiting because I knew the cop was coming. Like, you're not getting out of this.
Mm-hmm.
So I was actually just pulling my bumper out when the cop pulled up. He asked if everything was fine, and I'm like, yep, I got this. I can fix this part. No big deal. So he wanted my paperwork, and I had everything organized and ready. And that is so important.
Correct.
If you are missing a step or you can't find your insurance right away or your CVR or something, they're going to dig deeper. They are going to look for something to get you. So, like, have those books organized. Like,
yes, and check them here and there. Yeah,
so
just
important.
Don't leave them in the truck and forget it.
I just handed him all my paperwork. He went and checked everything, came back, and he just said, well, the witnesses said that guy was racing somebody else, actually. And, like, they were racing on a street back. And he'd come down that ramp into me. He goes, you're not at fault. Nothing. So they finished up their report.
Damage to your equipment?
It was just a bumper.
Right.
But
and he was safe too?
The other guy totally rode off his pickup truck and left in the ambulance.
Oh.
So
yeah, okay.
I have no idea beyond that, right?
Right.
Like, there's quite a distance by the time I got stopped. There's quite a distance between two of us. I couldn't see the pickup truck or anything where I stopped. But the other side is that the truck beside me at the time that he had hit as well, he had pulled off the on-ramp in front of me and got out, looked that he had one broken taillight from it. Thought no big deal of it. The guy jumped in his truck, kept going. Well, the cop actually left and chased him down and charged him for leaving the scene.
Oh, wow.
Right? He's not at fault.
Yeah, but he left.
Or nothing. But the fact that he drove away, he got charged.
Right. And what's the worst thing you have seen? If you want to talk about it. Sometimes I know you don't want to talk about it.
So, Freightliner that I had did not have tinted windows. So even though I had the low ride seat and sat kind of behind everything, if you were looking in the mirror coming up on me, you could see me in the truck. Once you're beside me, you couldn't see me. But I've had multiple inappropriate men who would drive up beside me, taking care of their own business,
Right.
and would sit beside me. Even if I wanted to get out and pass the car in front of me, they would hold me in that lane, doing what they were doing in their vehicle.
This is extremely unethical to
I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't know what goes through people's mind, thinking that is okay on the highway.
Yeah.
And like, I want to see it.
Yeah. Well, there's many different types of people out there, right? Yeah.
Right. And it's not on one occasion.
Yeah. No, I
Right?
believe you.
Like-
I believe you. I can see. I know the men's side of the story. I like the female side of the story. Like I actually didn't think this way, or like I didn't know this could happen. But yes, now you're telling me. It's like now I can sort of understand it can happen. There's a lot of, and then as a truck driver, the problem is you can't just run away.
Yeah.
Because you don't have open speed. You can't be just like, you know what, do whatever you want. I'm going.
Yeah.
You know, or you can't just,
No,
that's the problem with
even
trucks.
if you like try to slow down,
Yeah.
try to get away with them, they just slow down beside
Yeah,
you.
because they have the car, they can control
Like,
more.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Sandra, I want to thank you for being here. It's been a very educational and interesting conversation. And thank you for watching the show. We'll catch up next Sunday. Thank you.
Thank you.